understanding that the way you decide what you want to do is to really look into who you are as a human being. I think that's something that Fieldstone really allows people to push on and develop and hopefully take away with them for the rest of their lives.
I'm Glenn Herbert, and I'm an editor with Our Kids. We're speaking with insiders from Canada's leading private schools to gain insights into their programs, culture, traditions, and leadership. This includes insights from parents, alumni, and administrators. This is the Our Kids Insider Perspective.
When I joined Fieldstone, the thing that caught my eye the most was just how much everyone was willing to help out each other and how much everyone was willing to be there for students and especially on the staff side, taking the time out of the day to get to know the students and you know it would really did develop a family environment in which students could feel safe, and especially with the school like Fieldstone where there are a lot of international students, having a home away from home was crucial to helping the students not only um, sort of get it more integrated within Canada or get more used to life outside of their own country, but also perform academically better, develop new interests, and I think it really did help develop sort of that feeling within students, especially at least for me. Well, first off, it's worth mentioning that there's the Cambridge program at the school where students who are looking to challenge themselves more than just the normal Ontario curriculum could uh, potentially appreciate the challenge that comes with doing a Cambridge exam, whether it be in mathematics or physics or chemistry. There's a certain level that students go beyond for that, and it does help students become better learners and um, uh, better students overall. Other than that, I would say obviously the fact that the school is predominantly full of international students does make it more of not more of an environment where you get to see some diversity compared to other schools where that might not necessarily be as much of a case. Although I'm not saying that other schools don't. It's just that environment isn't. I haven't really seen that ever anywhere else. So I'd say those are predominantly the two things I'd say, and definitely the staff there. Although that I think everyone says that about their school, but I think the staff there did feel a lot more like family than I've ever felt. So I'd say the first and foremost, it's someone who's willing to learn. I think a lot of the ideas that were proposed to them by students, they were willing to take on and they're willing to appreciate and understand why that was the case and how they themselves could be better in that sense. The second would be open. I think the school is very open to different people, not only just in terms of race, but in terms of who they are as human beings. Whatever you are, whether if you're interested in music or if you're interested in sports or engineering like I was, there's always an avenue to explore. And there's always something that you could try out at the school. And they did really have that opportunity for everyone to really explore what they wanted and what they felt like would lead them in their future. And I think the third one would be happy. I think the school really promoted a happy environment. It was obviously a small school, and especially in K to grade 8, there's a noticeable um, tightness in terms of the relationship between the parents association and the school, and obviously in the upper in high school there was obviously that closeness with between staff and students as well. But I think it really did promote a happy environment that students could really be themselves in. So I think those would be the three dominant traits I would say. I wouldn't say there's necessarily one thing that ties everyone together. People are always together based on who they are and based on what they're interested in. And I think the school does, what it does is it does provide the opportunity for people to explore who they are and what they are interested in more than one thing that sort of defines anyone who went to Fieldstone. And that's one of the best things about Fieldstone. You don't necessarily associate graduates of Fieldstone or people who've attended Fieldstone with certain characteristic, but you really do see that they understand who they are as human beings and who they want to be and what they want to do in the future. And I think that's something that not a lot of schools provide people with the opportunity to really discover who they are and what they want to do. I think the biggest value that the school um, finds itself sort of promoting is community and sort of exploration in a sense, and not even literally, not even just figuratively or metaphorically, but literally. The school has a lot of opportunities where people can go out and literally do different things that they might have not themselves have initially thought of doing, but can definitely open your eyes in different ways. But I think that sense of community and that sense of exploration, not in every field of life, in every walk of life, uh, the desire to discover what you want to do, who you are, what are the different things that you can be exposed to, I think is something that the school really pushes. And the sense of community, the idea that people are stronger together, I think is something that the school really pushes and really founds itself on in that belief, and definitely something that is seen in the day-to-day operation of the schools. One thing that certainly surprised me at least was I did not expect staff and student to have that close of a relationship. Obviously, that's not necessarily something you can easily advertise in anywhere, but it really develops from the people who were there, and really develops from the people that have built the place, and develops from the people who who are in that place day to day. I think that is something that really surprised me and really made me happy being part of that school. Was you felt comfortable. You felt comfortable being there. You felt comfortable talking to teachers, not only about things that went on in school, but things going on in your personal life, and not really in a way that you would have felt in a lot of schools. Personally, I've lived in several countries. I've lived in Saudi Arabia. I've lived in Spain, and I haven't really experienced that with any of the schools that I've been to before Fieldstone. So I think that's certainly something that I think might surprise a lot of people, not just from y- the level that people go to, but just from how genuine it feels. So I'd say that's definitely one thing. Going back to knowing who I am and what I want to do, I think the school really helped me understand and then develop sort of a sense of identity, a strong sense of identity, a strong sense of what I want to achieve in life. And that has really had a profound impact, sort of not not only just pursuing what is the most advantageous for me, but pursuing something that will truly make me feel like I am who I am, and really allow me to enjoy everything that I can bring to the table. And I think that sense of identity, sense of direction, and the sense of knowing that you, as a human being, you can really only do what you're interested in. You can really only do what you find yourself in, rather than just something that'll provide some sort of gain. I think I think Fieldstone really pushed that in me, and I think that's something that I take with me in every decision that I try to make moving on, especially for the stage that I am in right now, at a critical stage of my life, having to choose sort of the next steps and having to plan for the next 20 or so years. That sense of direction and that sense of identity and that drive and that ambitions really stems from the way that Fieldstone really pushes students to think and really pushes students to approach not just their academic life, but also their own life. So I was unfortunate at the school for only a year. I came to Canada my final year of high school. I think I would have enjoyed more years at the school because that year was, such an extremely positive year for myself. And I think that would definitely be one thing that would have made my experience better. And just generally getting to experience that place for longer and really build something there because you did feel like you could build something there, and I certainly feel like I did that. And having the opportunity to do that for longer would have definitely been something that I would have appreciated. So I think that would be the thing I would point to. The reasons I joined the school were because of the Cambridge program. I knew about it coming in, but definitely now I would say that the school really helped prepare me for life after high school, life, in university. And I would say that's definitely where it's changed. I didn't really appreciate just how prepared I was and just how prepared it's made me for the next stage in life when until was there and sort of living through those all-nighters they have to pull for university assignments and understanding that to have gotten where I was, I must have come from a place that really did prepare me well. And I think that's the way that my perspective has changed. It was more just from it's based on what I wanted and what I needed in that moment. And I think what I wanted in that moment was a school where I could continue that Cambridge program, but what I got out of it was something that I definitely needed, and was sort of that how do I prepare myself? How do I prepare for not just university assignments, but just the whole lifestyle there. So I think that's definitely how my perspective has changed. The first reason would be, if you want your kid to go to somewhere where they really develop, not just as a student, but as a person, I think Fieldstone is the perfect place to go. I think if you want, there to be a challenge, not just academic, but sort of a challenge to, how can they be better as people? I think that's another reason. And third and foremost is, it's a very happy place. It's a very fun environment to be in, and I think it's a positive one to be in because you get to really express yourself and you get to really express who you are without fearing, that you have to act in a very specific way. Obviously, you have to act with proper conduct, but you don't have to conform. You can truly be who you are. So I think that's those are my top three reasons. I think the best thing I would say would be that really, Fieldstone might not be the biggest school and might not be the most well-known school, but it'd definitely be the school where your child will grow the most and truly be themselves the most, I would think. I am entering that stage where I get to start working and, you know, been through many, many years of high school and university. I think the best characteristic and the most important characteristic for really succeeding in whatever you do is truly being who you are and truly being, true to you, who you are as a human being and who you are with others. And I think Fieldstone has probably been the best place for me to truly define that and to truly express that. Don't be afraid to try new things. Don't be afraid to talk to those around you. Don't be afraid to really getting yourself immersed into a community and an experience that you're not completely familiar with because you never know what you're going to find out of it. I think the best thing I did was I sort of viewed this as a clean slate and tried to do everything that I could to become a part of that community. And what I found was more than that. And I think, it's like opening, to quote Forrest Gump here, life is like a box of chocolate. You never really know what you're going to get.
For more information about this school, you can visit their profile at ourkids.net.